our concept of the day today is called flopping, and it's pretty new to me because I'm pretty new to clowning. So I'm just going to kind of like read about it and see what you think about it. Maybe you can throw in your 2 cents. So we looked up a TED talk from Alex Bell, who is a former UK actor turned clown teacher. And he says, quote, why clowning is the most important thing ever in acting training. The flop is when if I do an action and it doesn't get a laugh, that would be a flop. And then what I can do as a clown is play the flop that I acknowledge that I didn't get a laugh, and that gets the laugh. I don't know if this quote is right on. He must have been speaking. This is
it's not the best.
Yeah, this is the clown's currency. You're going in and out of failure and in and out of flop.
So what he's saying is like you do something that doesn't get a laugh, and then, which is the flop, and then by acknowledging it in a funny way, I guess, or not funny way even, then that is actually like acknowledging the failure that actually gets the laugh. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is, and again, I'm sure like as a TED talk, it made more sense, like not to.
Yeah, it's kind of out of context.
Maybe I was reading it wrong. Maybe my brain doesn't.
No, the quote is worded weird. But
so yeah, the flop, the failure, being in the shit, like there's a bunch of terms for it. Essentially, so let's define failure and success, because I think that's important to define the flop. So a success is doing something and getting the intended result. And failure is doing something and getting the unintended result. Like if you go to, boil eggs and you end up like flipping the pot over, that was unintended and that's not what you wanted, and you failed at hard boiling eggs. So the flop is making an offer with an intention. It sounds like in this particular case, the offer is to get laughter or to get the audience to, be on your side. And then, so you've committed to this intention, it happens, and you get the unintended result, which is silence or a groan. And what he's saying is, in that moment, if you can be present, not even like necessarily be funny, but if you can acknowledge that you understand that this has failed and you have failed the audience, like not in a way that you have to feel shame, but like that you're like, oh, you didn't like it, and now it affects the performance. Like I'm affected by this moment. That's how important you are. This offer was important, and your reaction's even more important. For the clown, this is a huge moment. This is a moment of connection, right? I did something, I made an offer, you responded that no bueno, you did not like it. And now I respond taking responsibility, and taking responsibility sounds serious. Taking responsibility can just be a little smirk or just being frozen or just looking around and be like, oh no, but we love that moment because then we, as an audience, we feel seen and heard. And then we're like, oh, we're part of this experience, for this clown, we're part of it. And then we also watch the show take a different direction based on what we felt. And now we're collaborators in that moment. And so now you have the whole audience, whether they know it or not, who feels implicated in the success and failure of what comes next.
I feel like that's very kind of parallel with stand-up comedy, like because there's a lot of flopping for stand-up comedians, and a lot of stand-up comedians kind of get out of it because they can't handle the flop. But they don't want it. Or they can't acknowledge it, because if they acknowledge it, then they're acknowledging their own failure. Not just stand-up comedians, I think maybe in life, like that's a huge life skill. Normally
we brush it off, or we're defensive, we shut off the person. I do a show out here, my bio was already too long, so I didn't want to add this. I was given the option, people listening, I was given the option to add more to my bio. I felt it was egregious already.
We had to cut it short. Sorry, Chad. So
I do a show out here. I've only done 2, but it was a show I've been thinking about for years called Stand Up and Clown. And I take really good stand-ups who go in front of stand-up crowds with finely tuned material. They know how to shut down a heckler. They know how to misdirect if a joke goes poorly. They know how to not fail. And then I live direct them through clown exercises where they have to sit in these flops and fail. And the show's electric. Like you can feel that they are, by agreeing to the show, they are going against everything they've ever learned and everything that has gotten them success through their careers. And because they are willing to joyfully go on this exercise, the show's magical. Like,
and it's high risk, right? Going back to what you were saying about risk.
Yeah. And, you know, do the whole thing where in the beginning of the show, you know, I say to the stand-ups, I'm like I say, like, these are great stand-ups, listen to their podcasts, go see their shows, you know, like you know, they're masters of what they do, and everyone claps. And I look at the stand-ups and go, enjoy that. That's your last piece of free validation for the night. It's like, enjoy it, because from now on, this audience is going to hold you accountable, and you're not going to be able to talk your way around or outshout an audience member. You're going to have to really earn their love and, you know, and their laughter. And the audience is like, oh my God. And by the way, it's all bullshit. Like all of it, like improv's bullshit, clown is but it's a pleasurable bullshit. That's what games and play are. It's like, it's pleasure in assigning great value to something with no value is like how we like feel alive as human beings. You know, like we can't always be chased down the street by like a cheetah. Like that would certainly be exciting, but like we'd also trip one time and it would be over. We need to find ways to feel that sense of exhilaration where there really are no stakes other than the ones we agree to, you know, in the moment.